And now we're going to have our first selection of music, and our musician for today is Demetrius Daniels. Come on up, Demetrius. Demetrius is a poet, a musician, an educator that fully encourages audience engagement. He has performed at the New Eurekan Poets Cafe, Bowery Poetry Club, and the Manhattan Ethical Society. Along with being published in Nomad's Choir Poetry Journal, Brownstone Poets, Demetrius is also mentioned in the March 2009 New York Times article, Where Boundaries Are Melting, a Place to Celebrate Differences. Demetrius also has a CD entitled Words Speak on CD at baby.com. The tracks on Never Be Nation. Currently, Demetrius plays tromboetry. Thank you. Tromboetry, where his poetry is infused with trombone riffs and spiritual singing. Demetrius Daniels.
Thank you. All right, let's see if we can get to it. So I noticed there that you had a reference there to Africa. So I'm going to take us back, and I want you to go back to Egypt, Mali, Ghana, Mansa Musa, Nefertiti, Hannibal, and we're going to do this one, Africa.
Now we have something? No.
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 Africa.
Now we have something? No. Now we have something? No. Now we have something? No. Now we have something? No.
The motherland.
No.
Lend her a helping hand. Africa. You all must understand.
Now we have something? No.
Africa. Where it all began. Land of ancient civilizations, the world must come to some realizations. Then for the melanated jubilations, Africa. Skin from brown to very dark. Yes, it was humanity spark. Still a place of the living Noah's Ark. Africa. Rare minerals and precious jewels, men come from other places and act like fools. They must observe the golden rule. Africa. Did you see that Hollywood movie? What did they do to the image of Lucy? Turns you into a Hollywood floozy. Africa. Come on now. Africa. Here we are. Motherland. Africa. Lend her a helping hand. Africa. You all must understand. Africa. Where it all began. Africa.
Now we have something? No.
Africa.
Now we have something? No.
Africa. Such rich history. To most of the world still a mystery. Open your third eye and then you see Africa. Now those descendants, they return. Ancient spirits beckon and make them yearn. They'll grow with knowledge and they'll learn. Africa. Come on now. Africa. I said motherland. Africa. I said lend her a helping hand. Africa. You all must understand. Africa. Where it all began. Africa. Thank you. Gotta change that loop. That worked out. Thank you, Ethical.
Demetrius Daniels, y'all. Yeah. Woo! Africa, Africa. So, next we're going to have a poem by myself, and Demetrius is going to play with me. Ready? Okay. And
would you like a little loop or just straight trombone? You tell me what you want.
A little loop or a little straight trombone?
Yeah, you want a little something that you tell me.
Oh, I'll suck it that way, man.
Yeah, what you want.
We're gonna do this in honor of Hollis King. And Africa.
I'm starting over, right?
Oh, that's nice.
Okay.
Okay, this is a longer piece which we are shortening for today. So if you've heard it before and you say, hey, where's the rest of the poem? We just want to kind of keep it moving. Well, that's the riff. Okay, a little bit of both. A dark child. A dark child plays with words, attempting to puzzle together a way up, a way over, a way out, full of promise. She is dangerously dangling an open link in our continuum of Nubians. Inspire her as we honor you for holding high the torch. You crossed over her path. Your actions were seen. Your actions were seen, Hollis, by that child. Your child. That son, that daughter, that niece, that nephew, that little soul on the brink at the edge of the block. They have big dreams too. Inspire her, inspire them. She said she caught a glimpse of you one moonlit night. She captured the rare sight of your hard-won brilliance. She saw you ascend to heights beyond measure. By the light in your eyes, she saw your perfect flight. You landing there majestically on the rooftop across the street. You know, that corner house where determination lives. Her little arms flailing, her fingers rolling, forceful yet graceful circles reminding one that there is still time for hope. And when she asks you how do you do that? How do you soar? How do you take flight, especially on these moonless nights? You say to her, don't wait for flying lessons. You say, don't wait for eagle or phoenix or fairy wings to appear. You tell her the jewels that you have discovered deep inside of your soul. What you have discovered about the power of love and borrowing inspiration from flaming firebirds. You tell her to leap into the unknown. You tell her to risk the fear of falling and failing. You tell her, you say, hey, you say, my sweet little darling. You say, little darling, your wings will come soon after. There is an unrelenting thirst to be liberated and a constant ache for peace that only liberty brings, and an ache of contractions behind your shoulder blades. You tell her to scream. You tell her to scream. You tell her to scream if she must. but do not run. Do not run from life. You tell her, do not run from life. You tell her that greatness will not wait for her. Tell her greatness will not wait for her. You tell her greatness will not mollycoddle you. Tell her, let her know greatness will not mollycoddle you. You say, long after your feet leave the ground, your wings will come in their splendor long after midnight. You tell her about vision and when it's wise to adjust course. You tell her how you don't even fly in torrential rains unless it is absolutely necessary. You tell her not to fly into sandstorms. And you tell her when to rest. You tell her to rest. That sometimes her arms will be tired, you will be weary, and still you will need to find the audacity to go on alone. Tell her, inspire her, tell her the truth, tell her what she needs to know, because there is little time and so much to learn. Tell her to use everything for good. Tell her to use everything for good, even evil. And when they come in their modern day hoods, I said, when they come in their modern day hoods, when it appears that another woodland has been set afire, set ablaze, you tell her to fly, fly, fly above the flames and use the fire. You tell her to use the fire. Inspire her. Inspire her. She is going to need to know it all. Remember? Y'all remember when you took your first flight? Teach her that there is love and inspiration in love. She will soon understand that the sisterhood and the brotherhood is alive. Alive, alive. I tell you, the sisterhood and the brotherhood is alive. It is a place. It is a nation. It is its own commonwealth. The sisterhood and the brotherhood is its own commonwealth. She will soon understand. Inspire her to soar into the limitless possibilities of life. Tell her how the spirits and the gods and the ancestors will reveal their secrets to her. How she will be picked up and carried through by elders and angels.
I said, without her, she caused my soul to stir.
All right, now.
Yes, I must concur. I'm without her. Yeah.
And as she sails, as she glides, as she slides, as she cuts into the future, her first trip around the night sky, she discovers the parameters of a new world. She slices her own mark until tomorrow. Wingspan wider than she is tall. I said wingspan wider than she is tall. And in the morning when she lands, she is a new creature, pregnant with legends yet to be born. She calls herself Sankofa. Sankofa kneels at your feet with reverence and majesty. I said, Sankofa kneels at your feet with reverence and majesty.
Bring it back, Sankofa.
Come on now. Come on now. And in that morning, let her be the one that says to you, Hollis King, and everyone here, let her be the one that says to you after she has circled the globe, Let her say to you, art was my weapon too.
Art is my weapon. Without her, no girl without her. All right.
Demetrius Daniels.
Kim Brandon.
Woo, woo, woo! Woo! Brother man, we gotta take this show on the road. So we're gonna take a minute and set up for our interview. I will introduce Mr. Hollis King next. We will have a talk with Hollis about his circle around the earth and how art is his weapon. But in the meantime, let's introduce Hollis. Let's introduce Mr. Hollis King. And I just wanted to say while we're setting up, I want to thank Defe Anderson. Defe sitting in the back there. Defe introduced me to Hollis. And I just want to appreciate, there's something wonderful about building community. You just never know when you introduce somebody to somebody and somebody introduces you to somebody else. All of a sudden it just kind of builds and builds and builds. So don't be discouraged about these challenging times that we're going through right now. Just keep introducing people and see what happens. See what happens. I'd like to introduce our speaker today, Hollis King, former vice president and creative director at the Verve Music Group, the largest jazz record label in the world. He was responsible for art direction for all CD packaging, logos, advertising, point of purchase, and signage. He worked at several design studios before entering the music industry. Mr. King has received numerous achievements, awards, and citations from Community Arts, How, Paint, AIGA, Graphics, and the Society of Illustrators, as well as 5 Grammy nominations. 5 Grammy nominations, what? He also worked on Zora Neale Hurston, Their Eyes Were Watching God. He did the set design for the Afropop Series on public television. Creative director and set design for August Wilson's American Century Cycle at the Greene Space and NPR. Recent work includes Juan Hill, Geffen Hall. New books include Imprinted Illustrating Race. Is that the book for Black Lives Matter, the table book? Oh, that's okay. And that's at the Rockwell Museum. There's also One Open Casket to the World, another coffee table book, and I also saw this beautiful book that Hollis created for the Black Lives Matter movement. Oh, he has it with him. Yeah. So we'll get to see a little bit of that. Hollis runs his own creative company, sits as an executive board member in New York, creative direction at the Billie Holiday Theater, and regularly lectures about creative and photography at advertising agencies, the School of Visual Arts, FIT, Pratt Institute, Art Directors Club, the Society of Illustrators, and the Stella Adler Acting Studio, to name a few, to name a few. So we'd like to invite Mr. Hollis King. We'll call Hollis on up, and we'll just kind of sit here, and y'all could get to know him. He also if you go home and you look at some of your album covers and you'll see your CDs and you'll see his name on them. So what we'd like to do is to show some of the album covers, some of them you might be familiar with, that Hollis King has produced. Oh, you can do it. Hollis, did you want to say anything about any of the, you want to come back up? If you want to say anything about the album covers?
No, I think these are self-explanatory. This is the new Alan Harris record we did last year.
You want to get closer to the mic?
You know about that mic now.
Yeah. Yeah, so Alan Harris came to me and he wanted a new album. I'd never worked with him before. And he lives in Upper Manhattan. So I just took him to 120th Street by the viaduct. And we made all the images for this. Keep going.
Next.
So Clemens is a drummer from Germany. And so I took him up to Park and...
If you speak in the microphone, then people in Zoom will be able to hear also.
So Clemens is a German drummer. So I took him up to Park Avenue and 116th Street, and I made these images up there. So the symbol becomes his background. So that's his cover. And next. So this is his second album with me. And he did this at home during COVID. And he thought about sitting on the grass and doing things like that during COVID by himself. So this came from the conversations we had. A combination of collage and drawing and stuff like that.
Thank you. Next.
Next. Claudia Cunha, Chilean singer. All the men say, with Claudia, we did this on her rooftop, Taffy Place in Brooklyn. Next. So this was a box set I did for Verve after I left the record label. But for 1 week, Ella Fitzgerald went to the Crescent Club in Los Angeles. And she had this amazing set of performances, but we weren't able to find any photographs at all of that session. So about a month before this project came up, there's a guy by the name of Bart Forbes, a legendary American illustrator. He's incredible, and he had sent me a note. And he said, Hollis, this is Bart Forbes. And I say, are you the Bart Forbes? You know, when you go to art school, there are people you admire. He was one of them. And he said to me, Hollis, I love what you're doing. If you ever need illustration, forget about the money, just give me a call. And that's the first project we did together. And it ended up winning a bunch of awards, but this was from something that didn't exist. It's all put together. And it's a great set of songs on this album where she improvises like you've never heard before. And this is getting very rare, but if you see it, you should grab it. It's amazing.
Next.
Susan Tedeschi. Susan is married to Derek Truck. She's an amazing rock musician on her own, and together they're dynamite. They're touring currently together. But I had to do this record cover with her, and she was not available. So I hired a photographer, and I sent him on the road with her. And this is her on her bed, on the bus, and that became the cover.
Wow.
Yeah.
Next.
Next. This is a series of music from Brazil. The most classic sambas and stuff from Brazil were recorded in Brazil, and Verve wanted to put it out in the United States. So I interpreted it with illustration about the beach and all that stuff, and this became very successful.
Next.
This is a box set that almost killed me. They gave me, so when a record company does a record, they put a budget. They set a budget together for producing the record. So my budget may have been $8 to make this box set. This box set sells for $125. And so I decided to print on this metal. At this time I was into metal. And I'm trying to get photographs and art printed on metal. It's extremely difficult. And what we came up with was printing backwards on paper, sensitizing the metal, and then transferring the image to become positive. And I found a place in Sydney, Ohio that prints washing machine instructions and stuff like that. And they are the ones who created this for me. So the whole package is in a can, and it won a bunch of awards. It was also nominated for Grammy.
Thank you. Next.
Next. Coltrane. These are the master takes of John Coltrane. It's incredible recordings. And I thought about the old albums family used to have. It was like a type of leather with gold trimming and so on. So I took all these records and I put it into this box. And they printed it, and I thought it looked too clean. So I said to them at the printing place, can you sand the covers down so it looked worn? So I had all these big men sanding down all this. But this got nominated for a Grammy too. Same thing, reverse printing on paper and then onto metal.
Next.
This is a series where we took all the single albums and put them into one container. You know, record companies are always thinking about repackaging everything that's great and reselling it. And Coltrane's music is still the 4th largest selling records every year. John Coltrane and Miles Davis, they continue every year with new young people discovering the music. So we've always been playing with it. So the collage on the cover is a combination of images from each of the albums inside of it. So it's a silhouette of him with the images of what's in the albums on the cover. So we did a series of these. These were very successful as well. Next. Next. Same idea. Catherine McPhee. Catherine McPhee is on, she was on TV a lot, but she's also a great singer. And I hired this woman by the name of Ellen Von Onward. She's a legendary photographer. She shot a lot of Naomi Campbell and people like that. So she did an amazing job. This cover came from her doing makeup and looking in the makeup room before we even got to the set, and that was the cover.
Next.
So John Coltrane did a series of records at the Village Vanguard. And I went to the Village Vanguard and I took a picture of the sign that hangs outside the Vanguard, and I had it made out of metal and embossed it into the cover of the package. And then I had a painter do these covers, and they hated me for doing these paintings because they felt it was so important that we should never use anything but photographs. So I fought them off, and now everybody wants to collect this. So there's that.
Next.
Next. Liz Wright. Liz Wright is one of the most amazing singers I've ever met. And so we have done almost every record together. And this one, her friend had this beautiful vintage truck, and we stopped off the road upstate New York and made this cover. Next. Here's another one, Nina Simone. Nina did all these amazing records on Philips, and Universal owned Philips records. So they came to me and said, I want you to do this package. So this is white, but it's really like a snakeskin white material. And I had all drawings and paintings done of her, and we stitched together her images in the book. We actually put the images on a sewing machine and run thread through it to make the package inside. And this one won a bunch of awards as well.
Someone just said he has that,
Yeah.
or they have that, excuse me.
And Queen Latifah, I did this record with Queen. She's doing a jazz record. And if you have this record, play California Dreamin' by her on this record. It's sublime. And she's one of the smartest people I've ever worked with in the studio. She is, and her skin is flawless. She's amazing. Yeah. Next. This is the Norman Granz Verve series of live recordings. I simply took the old album covers and made it into a package. But the idea of the package front is like when you go in front of a club, you will see this little window with what's coming attraction. So I built this out of metal, had it cut out, and then in the front, we just saw the album cover coming through the window. Next. Nicholas Payton, Brian Blade. This, I forgot the name of this record here. But the illustration, Brian gave me this photograph, and then we had this painting of Louis made out of galvanized steel and put into the image.
Next.
So I'm always trying to find new ways to tell the story about what the artist is trying to show. Next. Yeah, something happened in the transfer. But yeah, this is a recent album I did with Kenny Garrett. Songs are from the ancestors. And this is done by Rudy Gutierrez, this amazing illustrator who did Carlos Santana award-winning album cover. And so I'm trying to explain to Kenny Garrett like how we want to do this painting. So we make little sketches and stuff. I can't get him to understand it. But it's going to be a painting in the end. And this goes on for a month. I can't get him to understand the concept. So one day I get up, because his manager won't tell him, the record label won't tell him, but I'm the freelancer. I said, listen, this is the end right here. We've given you every idea of what we can do with this. So unless you approve the sketch, we cannot move on. And that's what we did. And when he saw the final cover, he called me and apologized. He said he was so sorry. He never understood what I was telling him. And I shot the photographs for all the promotion and stuff myself, again on 125th by the Viaduct. So we meet Kenny 7 o'clock in the morning before the sun comes up. I have a crew with me. I have this very expensive camera. And I get out the car and I'm trying to fix the lens. It's not focusing. I'm like, boop.
Oh, no.
The whole lens falls on the ground. $2,500. And I'm at the start of the day. And I'm thinking, I got my crew with me, I got an intern, I can't act up here. And I remembered a friend of mine had the same equipment in Manhattan. So he brought his equipment, I shot with his equipment, I paid him for the day, and we got it done.
Wonderful.
Next. You saw this already. This is Nicholas Payton.
Next.
Next. Ramsey Lewis. So Ramsey is like he was the mayor of Chicago in some ways. He had a lot of power. I remember going to the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago on a winter day, very cold, a lot of snow, and the place is closed. We wanted to shoot in there. I say, Ramsey, the place is closed. Ramsey said, wait a minute. He pulls the phone out. They open up the whole place up for Ramsey. Like, that's some power. But this, I love this cover because he approved it. This is from the Harlem Renaissance by a guy by the name of Archibald Motley. And I called his son, and he gave me approval to use this, and this was a joy. I still love this cover. Next. This is the last record Roy Hargrove made, not Roy Haynes, sorry. before he passed away. And I remember him, you know, Roy was 80-something and bopped around and tap danced and everything. And he said, Hollis. I'm trying to be respectful. And he says, Hollis, don't make me look like an old man. I don't want none of these old man covers. He says, you see hip hop, blah, blah, blah. Make me look like that. And Carol Friedman shot this for the cover.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Next.
Michael Brecker, I did several records with Michael. He was amazing.
Next.
Next. Roy Hargrove. Beautiful musician, troubled soul. I loved him. And this, we shot this on Canal and 6th Avenue in the old Andy Warhol studio. Next. Catherine McPhee again, it was like a Christmas record, yeah. But again, beautifully shot.
Beautiful.
This is Verve On Mix. I created a series for the record label called Verve Remixed. And the idea was to expand the audience for jazz music. So we took great DJs and put them together with great songs and let them remix it. And my idea was to take old technology and new technology and remix it for the covers. So this would have been the traditional music. So we put out 2 albums, the regular songs and then the remixed. And this is the regular songs. And it was sold at a discount to try to encourage people to go back and listen to the old music. So this is unmixed. Next. Another Liz Wright. This is the latest Liz Wright record I did with her.
Beautiful.
I just brought her in the studio and I shot it.
Next.
Next. This is what remix looked like.
Nice.
So my friend had a broken head on his bass. And we took like the DJ equipment and we put it in and drilled speakers into it. And I took it in the back of my car and we just drove around Manhattan. So this was one of the last meatpacking places in the meatpacking district. A very cold day, I remember that. But that's how that cover came about. Next. So this is Natalie Cole. And Natalie Cole was the most incredible singer I've ever met. I remember I was in the studio with her when she was doing this record. She said, Hollis, she was talking to me, Hollis, I want you to listen to this, la 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 la. I say, Natalie, this is beautiful. Natalie goes, Hollis, this is not the vocals, this is just the scratch vocals for the band to get sequencing and sound. She was that incredible.
Wow.
So I had this first record to do with Natalie. And so the record company signed her to the label.
Use
And
the mic, please.
Sorry. So the record company signed her to the label, and I called my friends in California. I said, listen, the record label signs Natalie to the record label, and I got to do it. What could you tell me? They say, this is going to be rough. She's rough. And I said, okay. But one of the first things I do whenever I have to meet an artist for the first time, I go through their record of everything they've ever done. And I look at every visual thing that they've done. So for my first meeting with her and her manager, Dan Clary also managed her father. He was like a godfather to her, and he took care of her. So I remember that morning, I had a glass office with these long sofas and stuff, and Natalie comes in the office with these Jackie O's glasses on, and she sits in the furthest corner of the office, and Dan says to me, Hollis, what we'd like to do on this new record is a middle shot of Natalie, so you could really see her face on the cover, and you know, she must look good and blah blah. I said, all right, if that's what you want, send them up. She says, what do you mean? I get up from behind my desk, and I had blown up the last 5 albums she did, like this big, and I had them backwards in my office. I say, if that's what you want, she takes it, what do you mean? I get up and I turn the covers around. And I said, it looks like you want to do the same shit you've been doing. And then she says, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
The game flipped. So I said, Natalie, to be quite honest, I've been talking to all my friends about you, and they asked me if you're still on drugs.
Yeah.
You come in my office today and you look amazing. Why don't we tell that story?
Yes.
So they're in. I got them, I'm on the track, and I'm going. I say, Natalie, as a matter of fact, I want to shoot you from below so you could look statuesque like Venus de Milo. I got him. But I couldn't stop. So no, I said, as a matter of fact, Natalie, I want you to walk on water. They run down the office of the president of the company and say we had a great meeting with Hollis. I now get on the phone. I call my friend in Los Angeles. I say, Kwaku, his name is Kwaku also, he's amazing. I just put us both in a lot of trouble. I say, we gotta find a house with an infinity pool. We have to build a table out of glass, and we have to secure it underneath the water. So we get this house in Zuma Beach. This is a $35 million house. The garage looks like a fire station. It's huge. And the night before, Dan Clary, the manager, calls me and says, Hollis, it's going to be cold tomorrow. And if it's cold tomorrow, she's not going to do it. It's going to damage her throat. I'm in this hotel room in Hollywood, and I am dying. So I got heat cannons. I had to ship heat cannons from Los Angeles to Zuma Beach and point heat cannons at her in the water. We put a long...
Hollis, we need a time check.
Yeah, okay, I could close this right now.
Okay.
This is going to be the last one. So we put this plank on for her to walk to the table in the water. 3 guys in suits are holding the bottoms because the bottom of the tool is not flat. So the legs have to adjust. People have to hold it, and as she's walking on, she says, Hollis, if I fall, somebody's going to get sued. It was that kind of shoot, but then this is what it came out to be.
Beautiful.
Right? Yeah.
Next.
That's another long story, but we ain't going to talk about that. But I love Patty. Yeah, Patty would take me to her home and treat me so well. I love Patty. Next. Linda. Can I say anything about Linda, or should we just finish?
I think we might want to talk about what art is your weapon means. So just a quick one if you could.
Nah, this is a nice one. So Linda, blah, 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 blah. First record I'm doing with Linda, she had put on so much weight. And we start shooting in Kingston, New York, and I look at the first few Polaroids, and it's horrible. I said, I'm losing my job today. I say, everybody stop, take a break, blah, blah, blah. I take my assistant, who was a blonde lady who I could compare the skin tones to. I said, let's go for a ride. She said, where we going? I said, I don't know, but we're getting out of here. We get out of there, and I go to a florist, and I start buying flowers. I come back with $200 or $300 worth of flowers. I put on the set, and I start putting flowers here. Just doing a lot of flowers. And this is how it ended up as the cover. And I do the cover, we do the shoot, I design the record, and I'm not thinking about it. I get a call one morning from my agent, and he says, I have Linda on the phone, and she wants to speak to you. Linda gets on the phone, and she says, Hollis, I want to thank you for everything you did for me. And I just thought that just shows the best character in someone. She knew exactly what was wrong, and she was so grateful. By the way, she's one of the smartest people I've ever met. Okay.
Wow. Woo, woo, woo. That was deep. Wow. I am so glad you took the time to explain those album covers. That was fantastic. How often are we going to get to hear somebody who was involved with that much creativity? Woo, woo,
Thank you,
woo.
thank
Can we
you.
just give it up for Hollis one more time?
Thank you.
So we have about 10 minutes together, Hollis, with, I got a long list of questions. So,
I'll make it short.
okay. No, you know what? There's a vibe, there's a flow right here. We're going to just go with it. And so the first question I have for you, would you tell all of us what you mean when you say art is your weapon? That's my first question.
I think as we are given tasks in our lives as we grow up, we tend to find the things that we're good at. I loved drawing and painting, and my parents hated it. They wanted me to go to law school, and I was doing my liberal arts classes. And then my girlfriend at the time says, "Why don't you do that for a living?" I said, "Do what for a living?" She says, "Make art." And so art became my way of articulating my point of view. It became my way, a way for me to first understand myself and then giving it back to the world, you know. And, you know, I remember I am in a room one time with Burt Bacharach. And Burt is like, "Hollis, what do I do?" Burt Bacharach is asking me what to do. And you get these moments and you really say, okay, people trust in me and invest in me. Maybe there is something in me that I can share and I can do pretty well. So art is the vehicle, it's what I use to tell stories and put skin and bones to ideas.
And it's more than that.
Oh, you tell me.
Yeah, from what I know of you, you empower people with art. So when you say that art is your weapon, I see you with guns fully loaded and making such a big impression, winning a war. I see you winning a war. So I'm not that I'm taking it literally, but it just feels like even with the Billie Holiday Theater and how you give new artists a feature every summer. Hollis has something called the Sky Light Open,
Yeah.
where every Thursday night artists can come and hear other artists and their families, and it gives you a showcase and it gives people something to put on their resumes. And so Defe invited me, and that's how I know you, because you created a showcase for my poetry twice. And so when you say art is your weapon, I think you have a whole army of people who you're opening doors, kicking doors open for. So I was just wondering, when you talk about Burt Bacharach, it's just so many more layers. And then I'll say this too, I know we're not interviewing Kim, but Hollis has, and I think one is coming up this month, he has something called The Tree Remembers the Axe.
The axe forgets, but the tree remembers.
The axe forgets, but the tree remembers.
Yeah.
And what's that?
So, February 20th, we're having a new opening, a new exhibition at the Billie Holiday Theater at 1368 Fulton Street. It's a vibe. It's a DJ, it's artists, it's poets, and everybody comes into the space in the spirit of humanity, in the spirit of getting together and sharing and caring for each other. Because outside the doors, the clouds are dark, and we provide a space where people can share and be with each other. But your larger question to me is about humanity to me. Mm-hmm. What it means to be human. To me, it's not a place that we stay in and be. It's an ever-evolving change that we have to be engaged in. How to be more kind, how to be loving, how to be caring. And when you can, you do the best you can for anybody without expecting anything in return. That's the way I think I live my life.
I've seen that, And I'll also say that any opportunity that you have, you make sure that those artists get paid. It's not like you're inviting people in, and you help them sell their art. So if there is a gallery show, you know, he does the advertising, the communications, to see if people come in with their purses to buy the art. And it's wonderful when the black community buys black art. So all I'm saying is that what you do has all of these amazing ripples.
I think it's good to do good. I think it's good to do good. There's something that you get out of it. That is the most amazing thing when you do good. Anybody can do bad. But to do good, I find there's a lot I get out of it. A lot of people have done good for me. And a lot of people have taught me things, especially older people. And so wherever I go, I sit with old people and I talk to them, you know, and I come back better.
Do you have someone that was like a mentor to you?
I have several mentors. My first mentor is my grandmother. My grandmother was my first God. She put everything into me. And she knew what I needed, and she wanted to make sure when she's gone I'd be okay to survive and be here. You know, I have a special life because I was born like everybody else, but the way my grandmother told it was that she had given me a bath and put me to bed. And later on, while checking on me, she discovered I had a roasting fever. So she rushed me to the hospital. And the doctor says, yes, he has a fever. And my grandmother said, my grandson cannot stand up. 3 years old. Polio. I held on to my grandmother's hands. She held on to me. Taught me to wash, to cook, to clean. I still remember what it was like to cross an empty room. It would take me what would seem hours just to cross an empty room because somebody was coming up and mimic me. Sometimes I fall down and she would say, get up. Nobody's gonna pick you up, get up. So I start there. And I hear her voice every decision I make. She still guides me like an angel. So that's my start.
That's beautiful. Ooh, Etienne Charles.
She.
Where are you from?
So I was born in Trinidad and Tobago. I left as a teenager. I came to Brooklyn. And my mother said, everybody in this house has to contribute to this house. So you will go to work and you will go to school at night. And that's how I started. And one day my teacher said to me, Hollis, what agency are you working for? I say, agency. I lift boxes on 21st Street. He took a Post-it out, wrote a name on it, and 2 weeks later I was working on a penthouse on 41st Street.
Wow.
I was doing everything they wanted, getting coffee, getting beer, but always learning. So that's how I start. I start with one hand in front, one hand behind. I had nothing.
Oh, man. You know, it's wonderful when you started off and you went into detail about the album covers and the CD covers. You covered a lot of what we wanted to talk about.
Sorry.
No, I think that's wonderful. Here's a question for you. When I see your artwork, not the artwork of the album covers and the CDs, when I walk into your office and I see your paintings and your sculptures and the work that you made in terms of African statues, my question for you is, how does your cultural heritage influence your work and the stories that you're telling, not only for the work with other artists, but your own personal work?
So I'll go back to one of the earlier questions. Who are the mentors? My grandmother, Milton Glaser, Jeffrey Holder. These are people that took me and said, I will teach you everything, and taught me everything. I remember when Jeffrey was alive, he would call me up, Hollis? Yes, Jeffrey. What are you doing? Jeffrey, I'm just at home. Would you like to play Dolly House? Dolly House, which means I have to leave my house, go to the Soho, get in this place and start drawing and making things there. And then I would go back home and work till 2 in the morning. Jeffrey was just like an engine, and he did everything. He did dance, right? He did dance, he did The Wiz on Broadway, he did Boomerang, he did everything. And I think as you learn and you grow, people give you permission to be, and people give you permission to just forget what you think people expect of you and do what you have inside of you. As he would say, go inside of yourself, do that in the journey. So I have been doing it, you know, sometimes I make things that I don't know where they come from, but I make them. And we live in a world where I think we have to add to the American vocabulary, visual vocabulary about what is beautiful. So much is missing. And my goal is to add to that vocabulary of beauty and include myself, write myself into the story. So that's it.
Thank you. May I ask you 2 last questions before we open up the audience and on Zoom for questions? One question is, we talked a little bit about the challenging times that we're under.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering what you think in terms of how can we use art to inspire us and keep us going. So I'm just wondering what you think about when you think of art in the moment that we're in right now.
I think we just have to keep making the art we're making. If you are new and you're starting off, well, you could ask a lot of questions. But I think someone like me who have been making art, I just keep making it and keep telling my story and writing myself in. We've had dark times before. We will have more dark times. And there have been brilliant examples of artists and writers and poets. You know, James Baldwin is more relevant today than he's ever been. So people have left us the breadcrumbs, right? And we know what to do.
Yes. And my last question is, what legacy do you hope your art and your life will leave for future generations?
Well, I think about all those people who took a chance on me, you know. I recently did an art installation for a very large company, and I was scared about how much money it was going to cost. They did not blink. And it instilled in me that even though I knew it, like, what I have to say has a lot of value. So I did the job, and I watched people cry after they came to visit. I watched the way it affected people, and I felt so humbled by what we were able to accomplish. Not me alone, but everybody who worked on it. And then I got a check, and I put the check in a drawer, and I go like, I looked at the check, and I'm like, really? You could get that for that? I literally let the check sit in the drawer for like months.
Wow.
I couldn't frame it because otherwise, you know, I had to get the cash out. But when when you have these moments of that kind of success, you're forever changed. And it makes you more emboldened to try more things and to take more risk. And I am prepared to fail, but I want to fail without a loss of enthusiasm to keep going. I want to keep failing and going and going and going. I'm not afraid of failing anymore, which is my sweet spot.
You are such a gift. You're such a gift. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Howard.
Oh, this is the book.
It's sealed, so I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
want to
yeah,
open it. But
yeah,
this
yeah.
is the Black Lives Matter book, and it's images that Hollis took of activists and
Oh,
folks
just
and
everybody who
everybody
showed
on
up.
Fulton Street who, I don't know if you know, right in front of the Billie Holiday Theater on Fulton Street, they painted Black Lives Matter, and if you go up in a helicopter, you can read it. It's so big. And so this book is a testament to everyone who painted those letters. And so I know this one is sealed, but if you get a chance.
No, you can open it. And they can look at it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so with that, I'm going to open it and maybe display it on
Sure,
the table
yeah.
for people to see it. What I'd love to end with is something that my friend Mitty puts out a newsletter, and he was saying how, in addition to Black History Month, we should have Black Future Month. And so what your question just answered was what we'd like to see in our Black future.
Yeah.
And you are just so inspirational. Go right ahead.
Huh?
You were going to say something?
Could you play the film piece, the last piece?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And now we'll see one of Hollis's films.
Something short.
Something short.
Very
and then
short.
We'll invite Demetrius back up.
Okay.
Are we going to hear from you and Demetrius again?
No, he's got this.
Oh.
Let's use some contact with a test. 1,
Racism,
2,
the struggle.
3, 4, 5.
What if the world was fair?
5, 4, 3, 2.
If the world was fair, Black lives would matter.
If the world was fair, we all live in harmony,
Black lives wouldn't
abundance.
lie in the street for 4 hours.
Real. Cringe. We have a lot of mediocrity. This world is not fair.
I'd like to dedicate this to Hollis. No complaints and no regrets. I still believe in chasing dreams and placing bets. For I have learned in life, all you give is all you get. So you give it all you got. I've had my share, drank my fill, and even though I'm satisfied, I'm hungry still to see what's down the road, beyond the hill, and do it all again. So here's to life and every joy it brings. Here's to life, the dreamers and their dreams. May all your storms be weathered, and all that's good get better. Here's to life. Here's to love. Hollis King.
Yes.
Here's to you.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful, baby. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hollis King, everybody. Thank you, Hollis. We'd like to invite Demetrius Daniel back up to the mic and just give Hollis one more round of applause while Demetrius is setting up. Come on, Hollis. Woo!
Demetrius. Uh-oh.
Gotta get into it since we're talking about the Afrofuturism and all that good stuff, right? Which Octavia Butler and all those good things, right? Let me see, 1, 2. This one, right? Yeah. You happen to be part of that first track, but I think it worked out though. I don't know. All right.
Let me know if you need my help.
Okay.
I'm joking.
Well, actually, I always need everybody's help. It's like Hollis says, well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to, humanity, we're doing all this together. So this particular piece I'm going to do is it's going to take you through, well, you figure it out. And it's a question, I call it a question poem, a question piece that I've performed out and a lot of people. So, and we're thinking about it's February, Valentine's yesterday, Mardi Gras Tuesday, they have Dominican Independence at the end of the month, a lot of historical, Frederick Douglass, he claimed his birthday yesterday, right? All those good things, Bob Marley, all that good stuff. So I'm just going to simply ask a question. Is 1 month enough? Sometimes 29, cold, frigid, winter time. Ask the question, it's not a simple suggestion. Hey, is 1 month enough? Come on, woman, come on now, 1 month. 1 month enough. 400 years sure is rough, but we'll never give up. So that's the question, is 1 month enough? Is 1 month enough to lie face down in a musty stank slave ship, shackled in chains, covered in blood and feces to get to the so-called new world that'll take you for a twirl? Is 1 month enough to pick 100 bales of cotton on 40 acres of land in a hot, hot South Carolina sun? That might not be so much fun. Is 1 month enough to get hit in the head, have blackouts, take hundreds, perhaps thousands on a railroad underground, chased by news-bearing overseers and bloodthirsty hounds? Is 1 month enough for one woman to get on one bus and take one seat to get arrested because she had tired feet? That's berserk. Maybe that won't work. Is 1 month enough to more than one small boy found dead in one big river, and years later justice never quite delivered? I said, is 1 month enough to realize that Billy's fruit will remain strange, or maybe yes to the range? You know it's time for a change. Come on, help me now. Is 1 month enough? 400 years sure was rough, but we'll never ever give up. So that's the question, is 1 month enough? Come on now, check it out. Is 1 month enough to die first in a revolutionary war? But is what was Crispus Attucks really fighting for? Is 1 month enough to design Washington, D.C. and create an accurate wooden clock? Yes, old Benjamin did it, yes you know, and it shouldn't be a shock, you know. Is 1 month enough to realize there's no progress without struggle? Yes, Frederick Douglass said it because life in his skin color he no longer wanted to juggle. Is 1 month enough to be a true sojourner? Like she said, ain't a woman that should be treated equally and fairly like any other earner? Is 1 month enough? Is 1 month enough? Is 1 month enough for books about X's, purple colors, and nappy roots? And if you listen carefully and read carefully, there'll be no racial disputes. Let me ask the question. Is 1 month enough? Is 1 month enough to run faster than Hitler's speeches? Is 1 month enough for inventions from the stoplight to the gas mask? Garrett T. Morgan and so many others? They're still laying to ask us, is 1 month enough? Is 1 month enough to ask what happens to a dream deferred? Like Langston said, let America be America. Haven't you heard? Is 1 month enough for the dukes, queens, counts, and godfathers of soul? If you listen carefully, you know they just might make you whole. I said, is 1 month enough to even pay life's weary dues? As Etta Muddy and B.B. King, they played the blues. Is 1 month enough to realize a revolution will not be televised? Like Jill Scott Heron said, it's going to happen right before your eyes. But you know, is 1 month enough to realize by any means necessary? Means by any means necessary. Yes, if you're a racist, you should be where the rest of us know to be scary. And is 1 month enough to reach the mountain top? If the bullets stop, you know we'll never, ever, ever stop this. Is 1 month, 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 is 1 month enough? Is 1 month, 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 is 1 month? No. Add 1 more day, Black history, American history, world history will be okay. Is 1 month enough? Thank you. Thank you so much, Alphabet. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, everybody.
Demetrius Daniels. Demetrius Daniels. Woo! Trombotery. Trombotery. Oh, God. Trombotery. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, you're going to have to do that song for dyslexics, man. Woo, child. All right.